Hi everyone, it's me, Brian Altano, with Andrew Goldfarb at Gamescom in Germany 2016 for IGN. Let's get all that out of the way. You and I just played Star Wars VR.
We went to space. Like we were really there.
So, Star Wars VR, it's coming to PSVR, it's coming to anything else?
No, just PSVR for free for people who already own Battlefront on PS4.
That's right. So the way this works is you get basically into the PSVR helmet. You sit down, you get your controller in your hand, no move, no funny, none of the pickle and none of that weird nonsense.
No pickles at all.
No
just
pickles
a
at
normal
all.
DualShock.
They call it the nunchuck. And you hold the DualShock controller, and you get to check out what it's like to basically walk up to an X-Wing.
Yep.
And look at it from different angles.
Yeah, like before you're even in the mission itself, which we should say is the Rogue One X-Wing VR mission is like the full name of it.
Yeah.
Before you're doing any of that, you're just like in essentially like a big like gray box, but with your Xbox or your X-Wing right in front of you, and you can sort of teleport around and get a super close-up look of like the wings or like the engines or like anything around it.
Until you get up to the top and you can actually look right into the cockpit and then sit down in it. And once you're in there, then it really starts opening up because you can look around into a cockpit in first person and just kind of see everything that's in there. So you can start pushing buttons, watching the sort of wings open up. You can turn around and look behind you and see your little R2 unit. It's really cool. So from there, you hit a button and you basically shoot off into space. And there you are with your sort of support crew of X-Wings around you.
And you can choose if you're a fella or a lady.
That's true.
And then you can invert the controls, and after that, you're just in it. Like, it kind of stops reminding you it's a video game, which I thought was really cool.
I thought it was really great. I was really worried this was going to be an on-rails experience, and it's not.
Yeah, not at all.
You're shot directly into space. You have full movement looking around. The only thing I wasn't able to do is just sort of like those Star Fox-esque barrel rolls and flips and stuff like that.
I was very nervous about crashing into something more than I am in normal Battlefront, because I was like, oh, like I'll die if I do this.
Yeah. So they shoot you into hyperspace, and then you're immediately in a TIE fighter battle with a whole bunch of just wave after wave of TIE fighter coming at you. And I think one of the really impressive things about it was watching your ship shoot lasers and then looking at the inside of the cockpit, you could see reflections of those lasers. It would lit up orange in there.
Yeah, and you feel like even when you destroy a ship, like it's not just like, oh, good, I got one. It's like you see the wings of the TIE fighter coming towards you. You see the wreckage. You have to avoid crashing into it. Like, it just feels so much more like you're there than the typical, like, oh, I shot a ship down. Yeah,
and looking around just was really satisfying. It's one of those things that I think we really take for granted in games, but to be able to do it in VR, look up and see the inside of my X-Wing and cockpit, look out into space, it was really cool. And even actually connecting a hit with one of my torpedoes on a TIE fighter, which I've done 1,000 times in Battlefront, just felt really satisfying and awesome.
Yeah, and it feels so much more significant. Like, you know, when you hit something, like you feel like it was there and you hit it. Like, everything just felt like kind of one dialed up step above what it feels like in it with a normal controller.
Now, I played Battlefront for probably 70 hours, and I can't get enough of it. I love it. This is actually something that's really convinced me to keep my PSVR pre-order. It's something I've had for a while. I've been kind of on the fence about whether or not I really want to pay that full $400 and get down with it. But, like, I think I'm really into little bite-sized experiences like this.
Yeah, and like between this and like Batman and like the Tomb Raider one that's coming, like there's enough now that they're starting to add up where I'm no longer like, oh, this is really cool, but I want to spend $400 on it. It's like, well, $400 for like 20 of these does start to become a little bit more worth it.
So it's also like at the end it gave me a score. I shot down 23 TIE fighters. How about you?
Oh man, I shot down 19.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll get better next time. So I think right now that's all that's really there is this kind of score attack, mission-based thing. But also there was little moments in there where you could, like, before you got in the cockpit, look up and look at the belly of an AT-AT. You could look around your ship. So I want more stuff like that. We're hoping this will just continue to grow as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good taste of that world. There's so much to Star Wars, obviously, that I'm hoping, you know, in the same way that the core game went from sort of these original trilogy missions to expanding out, and like obviously this one's Rogue One, I would love to see them take this VR engine and maybe let me go to Jabba's palace, or maybe let me just explore on Tatooine, or just like a couple little kind of not just palette swaps, but like different locations would be really cool.
Or speeder bikes, you know, anything, or give us different ships. So that's Star Wars VR. That's what it's like to pilot an X-Wing in VR. It's exhilarating. It's like way more intense and fun and cool than I even thought it would be.
Yeah, 100%. It makes me want to play it again. It's like one of those weird demos where I'm just like, oh man, there's a line behind me.
Well, I even said afterwards, I'm like, I kind of miss my R2 unit. I want to go back and check up on him or her. So let us know what you want to see in Star Wars VR, where you want to go. The galaxy is so big and so huge that there's so many places to explore. Were you looking all over the place?
I was looking like a big galaxy.
That's beautiful, nice. I'm Brian. This is Andrew. We're here at Gamescom covering games all week long for IGN, so don't move.